Welcome to Point Shavers Week 6 picks.
Week
Lloyd,
six
how you feeling?
picks. Oh, pretty good.
Week 6.
Yeah.
Week
How
6
about
picks.
you? Can you hear me?
You look good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So now, what were you talking about? College football this weekend? This past
Man,
weekend?
it was wild. I know we don't typically pick college football games, but thank goodness because top 10. That was wild.
Yeah, it was. It was actually very wild. But let's just get right to it since we're not a college football pick 'em. Let's throw out our one college football pick of the year. You ready for this? Who you
Okay,
got?
fine. I'm ready.
Who you got, Blake?
Man, so let you know I'm a diehard Sooner fan. Sooner born, sooner bred. When I die, I'm sooner dead. Texas is going to beat Oklahoma by more than 14 and a half. Take Texas minus 14 and a half.
Yeah, and then go buy a Longhorns hat because Texas is going to win this one. All right, let's get into the NFL. Ready for this Week 6 picks?
Seattle, they are gaining 3.5 against San Francisco.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I know that we wouldn't have said that at the first of the year, but I actually think. And by the way, this one is it's in Seattle, and I personally think Seattle's going to take this one. They get 3.5 points. The over under is 49.5. I do think it's going to go under, but I'm taking Seattle with this to cover their spread at plus 3.5, and the game's going over.
I love that you took Seattle getting the points. Let me ask you this, Lloyd. Do you think Seattle's going to win the game outright?
Yeah, I think so.
I actually agree with you. I think Seattle wins the game outright. I love Seattle plus 3.5, and I love the under 49.5. So our next game is going to be Chicago Jacksonville here. Chicago is
Chicago,
uh,
Chicago.
the Bears. They are giving up 2 points to Jacksonville at home, and the total on that is going to be 44.5. Sorry, just a quick heart attack. So
Oh,
what I'm thinking here, Lloyd, Jacksonville looked pretty good last game. Honestly, their offense has been moving the football against the over/under. They've actually gone over the total 2 times. They've been under 3 times, but they're scoring some points, is what I'm seeing here. Chicago's actually has the same ratio. They've been over twice, under 3 times. But here, give me Chicago minus the 2, and I think they're going to put up quite a few points here. Caleb Williams has the offense rolling a little bit. Trevor Lawrence is rolling as well. Give me the over 44.5, Lloyd. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I'm taking Chicago with the -2, and I think it's going over the 44.5. Which leads us now. Well, I'll let you go ahead. This is your squad. Go ahead, Blake.
Well, so this was a later kickoff, but we're going to talk about it earlier today because these are my Cowboys, and I do believe that we're coming off a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it is our year. We will win the Super Bowl. You've heard that correct, Lloyd.
This is big,
We
big
will
year.
win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Dallas is actually they got a pretty tough matchup here. They're going against the Detroit Lions. Dallas is actually gaining 3 points at home right here. The total in this game is going to be 52.5. Give me the Cowboys. I think they're going to win the game at home. I think CeeDee Lamb gets healthy. I think Rico Dowdle. I said it first. Rico Dowdle. Watch Rico Dowdle this game against that Detroit front. He's going to go crazy. Over 100 yards. He's probably going to score twice. Give me the Cowboys, but we're going to keep it under the total of 52.5. What do you think, Lloyd?
Well, as we all know, I'm not a hardcore Dallas fan, and I also am a Detroit. If you listen to this thing, I'm a Detroit fan, so I'm like on the fence about it. But it is at home. Cowboys are not going to have a losing season. When's the last time? Well, they've had a rough year. It doesn't matter recently,
Easy, easy.
but I don't think this is it this year. I'm also going Dallas, and I'm definitely taking the under. But I'm going Dallas with the +3. I think so. Next
I
game we
love
have
it, man.
New England. We have New England versus where am I? I got sorry because we jumped ahead on the Dallas game in the schedule. It got me.
I
Got
was
me.
excited. They're playing Houston.
Yeah. So this particular
New
game,
England, Houston.
right? It's this particular game. It's in New England. Houston's four
Mhm.
and one. They look like they're rolling. Like we were pretty big on them, and then they took a pretty big loss, and we're like, maybe they're terrible. Well, guess what? They're 4-1. They are the team that we've been saying from week one. We kind of backed it off when they got hammered, but then they roll in. They hurt the Bills' feelings pretty good, and they're a squad. They're a squad. They're 4-1
Mhm.
on this
For
particular
sure.
game, um, because we have conflicting sheets here. I know we're taking New England. We're taking the. I know that. Where are we at? What do we got?
I got New England +7, and we're taking the under on 38.5.
Oh, all right. So even though we have computers in front of us, I have some hand notes here, and it's like if you push tab on the computer, that's what happened. It's not in alignment. I found it. Yeah, yeah, for sure. We got New England, and we're taking the under. Now we had some disagreement back and forth on this particular game, but as a unified front at Point Shavers, we're going with the under and New England. The +7 under 38.5.
Love it, man. Lloyd, I'm going to take over here on this Tampa Bay game, man. I'm really excited for this Tampa Bay New Orleans game here. I'm actually a little surprised that New Orleans is getting only the 2.5 here. Like, I feel like Tampa Bay is a much better team right now. I think Derek Carr is going to be out this week. I don't know if anyone's heard that. If you haven't, you heard it here first on Point Shavers. Derek Carr is going to be out. The rookie, untested rookie, Spencer Rattler. I'm an OU fan, Lloyd. He ain't worth his
He was
weight in gravy, and I do love gravy.
He was terrible
So
last.
so
I, I
I'm
he
gonna
was
make this one short and sweet. Tampa Bay +2.5, under 41.5. Saints may not score. Taysom Hill's out. Derek Carr's out. Spencer Rattler's in. Kamara's there. They're gonna score a couple, but give me Tampa Bay +2.5 under the total of 41.5. What do you think about the Arizona game, Lloyd? Arizona Green Bay.
Arizona. I mean, this was a point of confliction in our assessments
It's
of the game.
gonna be
I
a
tell you
great
what,
game to watch.
well, so here's where we're going. We're taking Arizona in the over. Arizona gets 5 points, and so Green Bay does have a pretty good defense. Arizona has a pretty good offense. I know they're 2-3. I also know it's in Green Bay, which was my only point of contention when we were talking about it previous to the show starting, because I think Tampa
Let me
Bay.
just let everybody know, Lloyd.
But
Everybody, Lloyd wanted to take Green Bay -5, just so everybody knows. But we have aligned, and we accept Arizona +5.
And the reason that we did that is because Arizona does have the ability to score points, and the line is 5. And to be honest, they maybe get beat by 3. So it's
I,
just right there on the line. So as point shavers, we took Arizona +5 and the over 47.5.
and I totally agree that Green Bay wins that game. Absolutely, 100%.
So we think next game we have Colts versus Tennessee. Also one of those odd matchups. Uh, what it says is Colts are getting 2.5 points, and the over under is 43.5.
Hmm.
How do you feel about this particular one, Blake?
Man, I'm a little worried about some injuries on the Colts offensive side of the ball. I think that honestly, I hope that Joey Flacco starts. Man, like that guy's been moving the ball incredibly. His connection with Alec Pierce has been insane. The one injury I am concerned with though is Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if he's going to play or not. Man, it's if he plays, it's a totally different game. Either way,
He
if
didn't
one of them
practice.
plays, if neither of them,
He didn't practice
he
today.
didn't practice.
Yeah,
Yep, Jonathan Taylor did not practice today. Was today Wednesday?
yeah.
So he's got a couple days left to get back on the field just to see. But as of today, Wednesday, I don't know that he's going to play, man. Michael Pittman is also questionable. So a lot of questionables on that offensive front for the Colts. But honestly, I think against them, I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to keep it within 2.5. Honestly, I think they'll win the game outright, even on the road in Nashville against the Titans. I think they're going to probably win the game. I do love the under on the 43.5. I think, especially with some questions on the Colts offense, and we all know the question marks on the Titans offense. So they're just not very good, whether everyone's playing or not. They just don't have the guy at quarterback yet. But give me the under 43.5. Next game, Loey.
Yeah,
What do you think?
go ahead.
Are we on the Chargers and Denver here?
I got Cleveland, Philadelphia on this particular one. So
Ooh, that is a great game.
we're
Let's
looking at
jump to
two sources.
Cleveland and
Yeah, go ahead.
Philadelphia. All right, man. So this is a great matchup here. Cleveland going to Philadelphia. These are two teams that I feel like have greatly underachieved. Don't you agree?
They were 100% have underachieved. Cleveland's supposed to have a world beater defense, and they've been terrible. Deshaun Watson, to be honest, it depends on which stage
Mhm.
of your career. Ladder's terrible, but they have some offensive weapons. I don't know. They're going to have to pull it together. Chubb is about to come back potentially in the next couple of weeks, and I think he's going to walk into a terrible offense. And I don't know if Chubb's going to be able to be the difference this year. Philadelphia also has underperformed, I believe. This particular game is tough to call. It's in Philly, but Cleveland 1-4. The line is Cleveland gets 9.5 points, and
That's so many points.
that's a lot of points. Now there was, I believe, last week was a 9.5 line, and it got covered. I'm just saying that those are pretty big lines in the NFL, and we're definitely taking Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland still they have the weapons, so any day of the week, like there's a potential for them to be the Cleveland that we assume that they are. But the same can be said for Philadelphia. But on this particular game, we took Cleveland
Absolutely.
because it was 9.5, and then the over we took at 42.5. Not not a lot of great defenses out there, and yeah, that's
I
what I
love
think.
the total over there. Saquon Barkley may score 42 on his own. Like that man is unbelievable. What's your next game here, Loey?
We're looking at Washington versus Baltimore. Is what we
Whew.
have particular one. Washington versus
You mind
Baltimore.
if I take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I talk about a just conflicting matchup right here. Like if you look 5 weeks ago before this game starts, before the season starts, this would have been a 14-point line. Baltimore's going to win at home. No problem at all.
And, yeah,
Jaden Daniels, Lloyd.
I would have projected Baltimore to win 63-0 week one. Go ahead.
Absolutely. But man, Jaden Daniels has that offense moving. Like that boy is incredible. Like I am so impressed by him. I'm going to do something wild here, Lloyd. I'm going to take Washington minus 6.5 in Maryland against the Ravens.
Well,
I
I mean,
think I think the Ravens win the game on a late Justin Tucker field goal. And honestly, I think the total goes way over the 51.5. I think this is going to be a shootout. Lamar, Derrick Henry, listen to this. Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, both going to go crazy. On the other side to Washington, Brian Robinson Jr., Terry McLaurin going nuts. And obviously Jaden Daniels and Lamar. Sorry, didn't mean to get off topic. What do you think about the Denver game here, Lloyd? Sorry,
well,
Denver at Los Angeles Chargers.
I put Denver. If anybody's watched this week to week, I put Denver and Washington in the same category. And guess what? These rookie quarterbacks have winning records. So, and this one's in Denver,
It's
and
wild.
Denver does have a good linebacking core. First of all, that they do. This particular game is Denver gets 3 points, and the over under is 35.5. And so, when we're just doing the analysis, I know that Los Angeles. I mean, it's not last year, it's not last year. They do have J.K. Dobbins. He did get injured. He'll be back. No. He was on bye week last week. Is that correct? I think. Or did they get? Guys, I'm sorry for the analysis. I don't have it in front of me, but I will tell you this.
I think he was. I think you're right. He was on a bye week.
All right, so I think Denver takes this thing at home. They're 3-2, and Bo Nix apparently is not terrible. Apparently, right? And I said he was. I had to eat my words. He's pretty good. So we go Denver and the
Remember that at all?
+3, and then we're taking the over at 35.5.
I love that, man. Hey, your Steelers. I hate to say it. Everybody knows you're a Bills and Steelers fan. Who did the Steelers play last week? Not to get back into last week. Last week was tough for everybody. Who did they play?
Who played last week?
Pittsburgh.
The Cowgirls.
Almost. The Cowboys won that game. But this week the Steelers play at Las Vegas and they are favored by 3 points. What do you have on the Steelers game, Lloyd? Totals
Well,
36 and a half.
well, I am a Steelers fan because I spend a lot of time there. Everybody knows that, or if you listen to the show every week, they are 3-2. They are going to a formidable Las Vegas defense. You know, Las Vegas is a tough team to play, especially in Vegas. It's like big time. That's really where they excel. But this particular one, Pittsburgh gets they're -3, and the over under is 35.5. I don't think there's just lots of offense there. I don't think Las Vegas is going to score big points. Honestly, nor is Pittsburgh. I think their defense is better than their offense. So I'm taking Pittsburgh with the -3. I think they're going to cover that. I think they beat Las Vegas by a touchdown. And I definitely think they're going under the 36.5.
Man, I love that. I love. I, you said a touchdown. I think 10 points. I think that game's going to end up like a 21-7 type game.
You
But
don't think
going to
Aiden
Atlanta.
Well, we don't have to do any more analysis on it. You don't think Aiden McConnell's the guy? It's fine. Here we go. Atlanta, Carolina. Go ahead, Blake.
Aiden McConnell, not the guy. First of all, Atlanta, Carolina, Aiden McConnell's not the guy. In either of those cities, you've got Kirk Cousins going against the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton here. Carolina's getting 6 here at home. I think this is a pretty easy one, Lloyd. I think Atlanta comes in. They found their offense last week. Kirk Cousins over 500 yards. Drake London found the end zone several times. Give me Atlanta -6. Give me the under 46.5. Short and sweet, Lloyd. Let's move right into New York Giants hosting Cincinnati Bengals. Giants are catching 3.5 at home here. Total 47.5. What do you got here, Lloyd?
Well, Cincinnati, it's one of those teams that I think I picked them. I'd have to go look. I don't have it right in front of me, but I think I picked Cincinnati most weeks this year. So whatever it is, 3-2, could have been 4-1. I'm like, oh, this is the week. Cincinnati, this is the week they pull it out. Well, to be honest, I'm still kind of on that bandwagon. I don't think New York's that great of a team because they're not. I think at home, at New York. It's at New York. But I think going into New York, I don't see how there's any way that New York beats Cincinnati. I think it's my own personal belief, which, being guys as the average guy, I don't think Cincinnati ends up with a losing record this season. I don't. I just don't think so. And I think they
I
bet
love that.
right here. I think Cincinnati wins this particular game. They're -3.5 points. The over under is 47.5. But Cincinnati wins
Mhm.
this thing -3.5, and they're going to go under. I believe. I don't think the offenses are too high scoring, and so that's where we're at. Cincinnati -3.5, and the under 47.5.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more on that. I think New York Giants have overachieved so far this year. I think they gave up one of the best players in the NFL last year, the Saquon Barkley over to Philadelphia, and Singletary's had a great uh, year so far filling in. But I love the idea of Cincinnati giving up 3.5 on the road. I think they're going to cover that fine. I'm going to let you take the Monday night game as well here, Lloyd, just because of the players in this game. And also, all these games we talked about, they fall on my birthday. Just FYI, everyone wish me a happy birthday. Make sure you send us a cash app.
Yeah, happy birthday, Blake. I like this. So this particular matchup is Buffalo is playing New Jersey, but if you look at it in the various uh, things that you can look up on the internet, it says Buffalo at New York, but Buffalo's in New York, and New Jersey Jets are not in New York. You know what I mean? So this
Mm.
particular one is
Yeah.
that. So I don't even know who it's a home game for, depending on how you want to look at it. But Buffalo's going to New York.
Posted in New York State. Yes.
Buffalo's rolling into New Jersey to play the New Jersey Jets on this particular one, and Buffalo's minus 2.5 on this one, and the line is 40.5. Now, even though Josh Allen could, from week to week, could be this offensive scoring machine, just at any given moment, he can score 40 that week, fantasy points wise, right? He can score 40 or 35 or just every week. And then you have, Aaron Rodgers. Well, he's good, and they got some pretty good receivers. Which, by the way, it's not happening now. So, and this isn't a sports talk show, but Devontae Adams potentially is going to New York. I don't know if you've heard those trade rumors. That'd be pretty wild and may turn their tides a little. But anyway, so having said all that and rambling, Buffalo, I'm taking Buffalo with the minus 2.5 at the Jets. They've lost 2 straight, right? So there's that. And you could say, oh, maybe we're a flash in the pan, and now that they're going to have a terrible season because they lost all those offensive weapons. They lost their defensive weapons, right? That was the preseason talk about Buffalo. Then they rack off 3 straight, and everybody's thinking like, oh, man, these guys are great. Without all of the rambling, Buffalo wins this thing. They're going to cover this minus 2.5, and it's definitely, in my opinion, going to go over the 40.5.
Man, I couldn't agree more. I mean, Buffalo minus 2.5. 2 weeks ago, I would have thought Buffalo was going to win the Super Bowl, and they had a couple tough games. But despite if Devontae Adams gets traded and goes to the New Jersey Jets, let me get that right, before Sunday or Monday, I will flip my pick to New Jersey Jets if Devontae Adams gets traded there and plays Monday. But I totally agree with you. If not, does not happen. Buffalo minus 2.5 and over 40.5, Loey.
Well, yeah, this is a good one. I mean, I think they beat New York, and it's not like I just pick Buffalo every week. Honestly, I'd probably stall out, not even talk about it if Buffalo was playing Washington this week. I'd just be like, I don't know, apparently Washington's good or whatever.
I don't know if you recall.
It would accuse me.
You picked Arizona in week 1 against your Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
And you won.
I did. I did win that one. Now, I tell you what, kids, before we get off here, thank you for watching Point Shavers' Week 6. Hey, don't forget this OU Texas pick that we never give college picks because that's going to happen. Guaranteed.
We got it.
Thanks for listening in. Blake, you got any final parting words?
Man, I just want you guys to enjoy football, man. This has been a tremendous football season. There's been so many upsets on college football, on professional football. Just enjoy watching football. And always, as always, Lloyd, please don't bet it if you don't got it.
That's right. All right. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you for the recap.